Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A quick reminder of our top stories now. President Muhammadu Buhari vows to ensure Nigeria remains a united country as he gets set to leave for the United States tomorrow on the invitation of President Donald Trump. Members of the Benue State House of Assembly suspend sitting for 1 week over attacks. Summon Governor Ocham to explain worsening security situation in the state. Military arrests commander of Benue State Livestock Guard alleged to be a member of Boko Haram terrorist group. And leaders of North and South Korea agreed to rid the peninsula of nuclear weapons following the historic meeting at the military demarcation zone. Channels TV has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. The National Emergency Management Agency in Borno State says that it has recovered at least 9 bodies from the scene of last night's terrorist attack in Jadari Polo General area in Maiduguri, the state capital. Officials of the agency have been combing the area for more bodies, while others who sustained various degrees of injury have been taken to the hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, the statement from the Borno State Police Commissioner, Mr. Damian Chukwu, says that 2 special anti-robbery personnel were injured in the gun battle, while an armored personnel carrier was also damaged by explosives planted by the terrorists. The Northeast Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, Bashir Garga, tells us more.
We were able to evacuate dead bodies and bring them to the morgue. And one thing that was baffling yesterday was panic-stricken citizens were all over the place, going from one point to the other, unaware of where they are going to, because there was serious fear and panic. So we had to douse the tension before the Joint Task Force issued a press statement on people to be calm, which we equally corroborated. Meanwhile, the area is calm, placid.
Now to the National Assembly, where police authorities have been explaining the reason for the absence of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, at the Senate plenary on Thursday. A statement from the Force Public Relations Officer, Jimo Moshood, says that the police chief acted right by sending another high-ranking officer to represent him at the Senate, since he was out of town and on another official duty with the president in Bauchi State. The statement explains that the IGP instructed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations to represent him in line with Section 215 and 312 of the Constitution. The police is also asking the Senate not to trivialize the matter, as the police force will continue to hold the arm of government in high esteem. The Senate had summoned the IGP to appear before it to explain the issues surrounding the arrest of Senator Dino Melaye. The lawmaker is being held over his alleged complicity in the supply of arms to some suspected political thugs. In politics, the All Progressives Congress, the APC, has announced new dates for the conduct of elections at the different levels of the party's leadership. APC's Publicity Secretary, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, says that the ward congresses will hold on May the 5th, local government congresses are to hold on May the 12th, while the state congresses will hold on May the 19th, 2018. The party, however, says that its national convention will hold in June, but the date will be announced later. Channels Television gathered that the dates were changed primarily because of the Muslim fasting season of Ramadan. Should the party hold its national convention in June, it will be the first in 3 years against its own constitution, which stipulates at least one in 2 years. In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress, the APC, is not taking the forthcoming Ekiti state governorship elections race lightly. as the party appears resolute in its quest to put its house in order ahead of the contest. However, the leaders of the party in the Southwest and aspirants for the APC ticket are concerned about the conduct of free and fair primaries. Some leaders of the APC in the Southwest, led by the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, met today with the aspirant in Ekiti governorship race and are asking that the May 5th primary be transparent.
They asked for free and fair primary that is transparent, that is untainted, that is incorruptible, that is indeputable. And they said that is what they demand of us as leaders. And we have that one to equally guarantee that there be no interference on due pollution of the political situation there. We did respect them for the response and appeal to them to maintain peace and collaboration. That is a competition within the family. And once they recognize that, we will move forward from there with peace, harmony, and strong determination to confront the opposition.
An opposition politician who has been in custody, Senator Peter Nwabushi, has been granted bail by the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos on self-recognizance. The lawmaker representing Delta North in the Senate was given a temporary reprieve by Justice Muhammad Idris, who also ordered that the senator must present 2 sureties. The sureties, in turn, must produce 50 million naira bond within 74 hours. That would be 72 hours, or the bail would be revoked. The judge also directed him to deposit his passport with the court, and he is not allowed to travel outside the court's jurisdiction without permission. Justice Idris had adjourned the case till June the 13th for commencement of trial. Senator Nwabushi was arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, on 2 counts of fraud. He has, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges. You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, reaching you live from Lagos. Let's quickly shift gears now to our Abuja studios, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by to take us through. Ibrahim.
Good to see you, Gimba. Now, we're still in the courtroom where a former group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mr. Andrew Yakubu, is to forfeit over $9.7 million found in his house in Kaduna. That is the verdict of the Kaduna Division of the Court of Appeal, which affirmed the decision of the Federal High Court in Kano that had ordered an interim forfeiture of the money. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had raided the house allegedly belonging to Mr. Yakubu on February the 3rd, 2017. They discovered over $9.7 million in cash and another £74,000 sterling stashed in a fireproof safe. Mr. Yakubu had claimed the money was gifts from well-wishers, but the EFCC suspected it was proceeds of crime and secured an order of temporary forfeiture from the Federal High Court. The court had also dismissed an application by Mr. Yakubu seeking to revoke the interim forfeiture, after which he approached the appeal court seeking to quash the order. In his judgment, Justice Daniel Kalio of the Appellate Court, who headed a panel of 3 judges, resolved the issues in favor of the anti-graft agency and upheld the forfeiture order. Away from the court, a panel of discussants today reviewed the 25th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting held in London from the 19th to 20th of April. The panelists, made up of diplomats and officials of the Nigerian government, discussed the theme for this year's meeting, tagged towards a common future. The discussion took place on our special program titled Commonwealth Heads of Government Meeting, London 2018. Correspondent Kayla Megwa has this report.
Commonwealth Heads of Government Meeting, CHOGM, is a biennial summit meeting of the heads of government from all Commonwealth nations. Every 2 years, the meeting is held in a different member state and is chaired by that nation's respective prime minister or president, who becomes the Commonwealth chair in office until the next meeting. This year's meeting was hosted by the United Kingdom and looked at several issues affecting member countries, such as gender equality and inclusion, multilateral trading systems, wrongful deportation of the Windrush generation, small and vulnerable states, and countering of violent extremism. Breaking down some of these issues on Channel's television today was the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, a former permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Jamaican acting High Commissioner to Nigeria, and the presidential spokesman on media and publicity.
Something like 70% of all Nigerians who apply for a visa to go and visit the UK are accepted, and 90% of all Nigerian students who apply to study in the UK, once they have a place, are also accepted.
We're encouraged that the Prime Minister May met with Caribbean leaders during the time of the Commonwealth meetings and apologized and committed to righting the wrong.
One of the criticisms of meetings, such as the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, is how its resolutions affect the lives of the citizens of member countries. And questions have arisen as to what benefits the man on the street derives from the Commonwealth.
I believe that it's better for us to be in the Commonwealth than out of it. The very fact that 53 countries were meeting and Nigeria was there is good enough for the country.
There used to be a lot of activities around the Commonwealth, and what the Commonwealth, was doing in terms of education, in terms of health, you just name it. But as time, went on, we began, particularly after we came back to the Commonwealth a couple of years ago, we started hearing less and less of the presence of the Commonwealth in the life of this country.
Since the first meeting in Singapore in 1971, Commonwealth Heads of Government meetings have attempted to orchestrate common policies on certain contentious issues affecting member nations. By the next meeting, which will hold in Rwanda by 2020, it is expected that the trade between member countries would have doubled, creating a prosperous future for all member countries. Kayla Magwa, Channels Television News.
Many thanks indeed, Kayla. Now, as trade and labor unions canvass for a new minimum wage of 66,500 naira, the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike believes it should be in line with the capacity of states to pay. Governor Wike explained his position during the South-South Zone public hearing on the minimum wage in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. He pointed to the fact that many states are unable to pay workers' salaries without federal government bailouts. Minister of Labour and Productivity, Dr. Chris Ngige, who led the public hearing, is optimistic that government, employers and employees can come to a common understanding.
Today, we are gathered here so that these employers and workers in the south zone of the country can kickstart the dialogue on the national minimum wage. As you all know, government is the third leg of this tripartite union. And government, when we say government, we mean the federal government and the state governments, who are majorly the employers in the public sector.
While I reiterate our support for raising the national minimum wage, in taking this decision, we cannot also lose sight of the consequences that it produces, especially when the minimum wage is fixed and mandated by law, without due regard to the cost and capacity to comply by the employers. As far as the states are concerned, the previous review exercise failed to give maximum weight to the existing disparity in economic potential and capabilities among the 36 states of the Federation. And we all know how difficult it was and has been for most of the states to implement the existing 18,000 minimum wage.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. Now, when the news at 10 returned, Central Bank issues security guidelines on mobile banking, pegs USSD codes daily transaction per customer at 100,000 naira. Do join us again.